this personal connection, right, that people feel to the animals, to the ostriches, and perhaps that's why the story has really struck a chord among the public. But so, how do you, I guess, how do you address the emotional connection that people have to this story?
Well, it's tough, right? And I don't want to see them euthanized either, but I understand why. I'd like to find a solution, but I'm not sure a solution is available. And I think people, this is the disconnect we have sometimes with, we're to focus on the couple hundred ostriches, but we've had millions of birds that have died, millions of
Hmm.
poultry that have been killed because of this.
Hmm.
And the ostriches are higher profile, but does that mean they're more valuable?
And so, what do you think is needed? You talked about an outbreak, and outbreaks need to be contained. So, what do you think needs to be the next step here then?
Well, it sounds like this is maybe going to Supreme Court, so we're stalling this out even more. I think ultimately there needs to be a decision about whether there is any alternative to culling. Is that even on the table? It's not easy to do though. The previous caller mentioned let's just test the birds, and ostriches are pretty big. They're not the easiest thing to handle. And when you've got go on the assumption they might be infectious, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of expense to just catch and sample the birds. There's a lot of expense in testing them, and then you hope they're negative. Like I said, ideally, I would like to see them tested and see what's going on and then figure out what we can do from there. I'm not sure that's practical though. And I really, really don't want to see as this farm continue to have animals because they've shown from the very start that they cannot manage these appropriately. And there are a lot of other very kind of questionable things associated with this. So like I said, there's not a good answer to this. I don't think we're going to have a perfect outcome by any means. I don't think we're going to have a good outcome by any means. We'll hopefully have the least worst outcome. And I'm not sure what that is. And I don't know how we sort out what that is. Ultimately, the courts will decide whether the cull can go ahead, and the CFIA will decide whether the cull will go ahead. They have some loophole ability, but they are bound with international agreements. So we've got so many competing interests here. I think it's hard to say what we should do.